Where did it get? I forget what I was gonna have to freaking talk about again. There's something I was gonna have to talk about again because I talked about something that was interesting and like kind of in depth or something, and I have no idea what the frig it was. I can't even go back to the VOD and to jog my memory because I can't read lips. Once again, apologies for not having any audio on the previous episode. It's the price of using NVIDIA noise reduction. If the software isn't running, I can't. There's no audio. The mic can be unmuted. Doesn't matter. It might as well be muted. So anyway, I'm just gonna take out my headphones. I wanted to go over this. This is probably so. This is something I came up with during my last thing. I've been yelling because, well, first my cat tried to bite my ankle off for no damn reason. And then my PlayStation 5 started turning off and on, or well, on randomly. And I think it's because, well, I've been rolling up a character concept for D&D, and I have my dice bag out, and I set it down on top of my remote for my PS5. So I think that's why it's been randomly turning on. Apparently, it shifted just so when I yelled at my cat, apparently it created a tremor that shifted the bag so that it pressed on a button, and then I had to. Yeah. That was aggravating. And part of that was trying to start streaming, and then so I delete it, and have my YouTube channel page up, so I didn't want that to be shown, and yeah. Anyway, this is the value system that I came up with for Paragon and Renegade. And it was, I guess part of the idea was, sort of diametric, different, conflicting values, I guess. But the idea of this is that you can effectively, you have qualities that reflect both sides of the coin. So for Zandra, our previous character, I'm kind of wondering how I'm gonna even do this. Okay, I think I can highlight. So I think she valued moral freedom over the order of law, but she is also fiercely loyal. So, I need to highlight. Um, she was fairly ruthless, at least to start out with. Fairly ill-tempered. Um, I think she's kind of neutral to cooperation and self reliance. To be honest, um, this would be like one quality I think she's kind of neutral towards. I mean, kind of back and forth in a way. But definitely, like I'll say that she eventually became neutral to this, but I would say style if she's definitely like um yeah, very renegade leaning. Um, my character, my current character, um, is probably thus far fairly Paragon down the board. And the idea that I had for, like, if we were going to do this as a pen and paper RPG, um, would be that you have to, it's a requirement that you had to have at least one Paragon value and one Renegade value. At least, at character creation. So, what is Justin's um renegade trait? Cassandra was loyalty. Like it's part of the reason uh why I would say she didn't choose mild spoilers. Like you get to choose who the human council will be. It's a choice between Captain Anderson and Udina. And the thing is, she this time we're probably gonna pick Udina. Um, that could suggest a certain degree of pragmatism. Uh, that would be the only thing I really think that could fit my current shepherd. Would be pragmatism. I don't think we've really demonstrated a lot of pragmatism thus far. Oh, we've shown a little bit. So I think it would be pragmatism. To some extent. Maybe not extreme pragmatism, but he is a little pragmatic. That's demonstrated through the whole scenario with you know, the body. The grieving husband whose wife was a soldier. Like that was a pragmatic approach to it because we could take the approach of this is wrong and demand that they return the body, but we didn't. We were like, okay, well, she could do this, could be helpful, so let's see if we can. I mean, the thing is, at the end of the day, like Justin, referring to myself in the third person because this is a different version of myself. Um, uh, like we were saying, that he would you know he would defer to the husband's judgment. If he could not persuade the husband that it was right to allow um you know them to, like, if he could not convince the husband that that the Alliance would it would be good for the Alliance to keep his wife's body at least long enough to examine it and do tests or studies or whatever on it. Um, that he would if he could convince the husband of that, then he would be like, okay, you know, her husband. I made her husband aware of the situation. He does not want this, so I will do what I can to use my clout to make sure that his wishes are respected. Um, but there is a certain degree of pragmatism to the idea of keeping the body and studying it and all that stuff. So this is kind of the cheap out for a renegade trait because it's not even that strong. Um, but given that and given our later choice, um, I probably would go with pragmatism as a trait, and then maybe even try to focus on that a little bit because it's interesting because I mean that it is literally kind of Zandra to some extent. I mean, there's some things where she's gone a little too more towards the middle over the course of the series, but definitely like compassion versus ruthlessness was I think the big thing um, for her in terms of sliding, you know, across the scale. Loyalty was always there. And sometimes she would act in self interest, but really she's acting in pragmatism, mainly. Like, she would do something that would seem selfish, but like it was the way to make more money, which could you know, uh, help in the fight against Saren. So it wasn't really self interest, it was a form of pragmatism. Now, granted, I'm not sure pragmatism is going to take Justin this far. But uh, yeah. Also, I just need to make a comment. Um, it being Pride Month, uh, I don't know if it's like I'm fairly sure it's Pride Month for all. Uh, I actually don't know. Like, is it Pride Month for like all LGBTQ individuals? Because then I would sort of fall into that. But the funny thing is, I'm playing as male shepherd here when I'm in fact by gender I usually play female characters, but because this is my second playthrough live on stream, I wanted to do something a bit different. But yeah, um, so also I'm growing a goatee. Actually, it's coming in quite nicely, and now like the mask mandates are dropping, so I'm probably going to continue wearing the mask as long as I can get away with it because I work at a place where I am technically required to shave, but because I'm wearing a face mask, I don't really have to. I like bag groceries. I think that's that deep personal. Um, I'm not sure if the shaving thing is. I'm fairly certain that the shaving thing is not even hygienic, per se, because I do believe there are other places where they bag groceries where they do not require you to shave. So I think it's part of it's probably hygienic, but I also would say it's probably just presentational, which I think is bullshit. Um, but anyway, Ellie, why why do you have to hog the spotlight like this and scare the shit out of me? I love you too. Doing the kitty, I love you. I got But you know I'm gonna have to uncross my legs so you're and piss you off. Yawn. Where was I before? Really distracted me. So yeah, I'm mostly growing out the goatee because like I can, or because I could, and I still can, and like that was finally like starting to be visible, and the mask mandates going is starting to go away. So I may run out of excuses to continue wearing the mask. The other reason why I want to keep on wearing a mask is because dentures are kind of uncomfortable. Of course, that's another whole story, but I'm not really going to get into. Suffice to say, I not take good care of my teeth. When I was younger, so this is what happens, kids. I really need to uncross my legs. Okay, don't be showing your butt to the camera. Oh, don't be so grumpy. Hey, hey, what did I tell you? Don't be mean. You keep on laying in my lap if you want. Here, don't be mean. If you're gonna be mean, then you can't be on my lap at all. Yeah. Be like that. I said, it goes from doing the kitty I love you to. If you want to play, you can just go play by yourself. You don't really need me. And if you do need me, you can just go grab something and bring it to me and we can play fast. What the hell's going on here? Also, now that I started to have a more visible goatee, the character model is no longer reflecting my appearance very well. I mean, I guess if I have to shave at some point, it'll start reflecting me again. My point about the goatee is that I like having facial hair when I can get away with it. That's why you should, if you want to keep on seeing me with a goatee, support me on Patreon. Then eventually, I gotta put this thing behind a paywall. Oh yeah, Helena Blake. I needed to find Helena Blake, and now my cell phone's behind Ellie. And I looked up because I have no idea where the heck to find Helena Blake. I don't know if this is a glitch where she's not spawning or what. Ellie, that's uncalled for. Don't be knocking stuff over just because I won't play if you only can. You can lay my lap if you want to. I mean, I don't know if there's gonna be a lot of space there, but okay. Apparently near the Emporium. Although there's two ways to do this, apparently. I need to get another bottle of water. But anyway, like I was saying, if that might be her. Oh, there she is. Um, if you want to, if you like the goatee, support me on Patreon. It may take a while. The goatee may go away for a while because I highly doubt that I'm gonna get enough people supporting me on Patreon that I could actually just straight up quit my job.
Got a moment, Spectre? Hello, Spectre. I have a business proposition for you.
Good for you.
How did you know I'm a Spectre?
Word travels. Your name comes up in certain circles. I'm acquainted with a pair of powerful crime bosses. They're hiding on remote worlds, and I have the coordinates. You could do the galaxy a favor.
What kind of defenses would these two have?
I haven't the faintest idea, but they're certain to be armed. Their partnership's soured, and each believes that the other intends to kill him. They will be well prepared.
I eliminate them, and then you take over and try to eliminate me. How stupid do I look?
While I appreciate your estimation of my bravado, I have no intention of attempting to murder you. You are the first human Spectre, and you are doing important work for humanity. I have no interest in red sand or slavery. Anyone who does deserves to die. Our needs are aligned.
You're obviously with them. Why don't I just arrest you instead?
Arrested for what? You and I are simply having a conversation. I have excellent legal representation. Arresting me would be a waste of your time.
And what do you get out of this?
We share interests in certain cooperative ventures, but their business practices have forced me to terminate our relationship. Once they are dead, I will manage our organization in a more tasteful manner.
What crimes did these men commit?
They're red sand dealers who make victims of their customers. Those who can no longer pay are sold to Batarians as slaves. They're loathsome, hurting innocent people. They must be ended.
If they're as bad as you say they are, they need to be dealt with.
Excellent. Here are the coordinates. When these men are dead, I will wait for you at the third set of coordinates. Goodbye, Commander. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Is there any way to go and confirm this? Renegade +2. Okay. I mean, he is pragmatic. I should have the same pragmatism or just that he doesn't like slavers and drug dealers. And he's a friggin' Spectre. I think everything else is I was worried that there's no transport directly to where our hangar is. We had to go to CSEC and then from there go to the hangar where our ship is. Why can't we just go to... Also, why we're going to the medical center? I accidentally looked at the wrong thing. That's probably the... They could have even added that as a quality of life
Celebrations are being
thing.
planned for the anniversary of the end of the Rachni Wars. Many Council worlds, particularly Asari and Solarian colonies, will hold victory parades to commemorate the defeat of the invading Rachni. In a rare admission of debt, several Asari colonies have invited Krogans to be honored for the victories the uplifted Krogans made possible.
The Normandy combines the best of Alliance technology and Turian engineering. It shows what we're capable of if we work together.
Another interesting thing I could potentially add to character creation is a chew. It's sneezing. Like there aren't enough tabletop RPGs that include a special ability to sneeze. where we can just specify like, hey, my character can sneeze. Especially with aliens, like we need to like specify which aliens are capable of sneezing, like which involve biological function. No, I guess it would be like racism, or I guess speciesism. Would be more.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress. Logged. The commanding officer is aboard. XO Presley stands.
Like heck, I don't even know. Like there's some who like are say technically with regard to, well, probably aren't a lot of people who would pull technically on the idea of racism. I do like what like Warren Runner says, that at least a lot of discrimination is a form of tribalism, but technically racism isn't really like race. Like the definition of race as we put it is not really race. Like we are the human race. That's actually how it should be. So I guess in a way that like racism against actual other species on like alien species would probably be more racism in a very technical sense than it's just to distinguish it between the colloquial racism, we call it speciesism, or space racism, or whatever the heck you would call it. I guess Ashley, her character sheet would probably just be general speciesism. Or xenophobia, probably, or a form of xenophobia. I'd probably say it's more xenophobia than speciesism, actually. Um, yeah, I think I call it more xenophobia, because she isn't really like racist per se. Although she does say, that whole thing about. I would probably cut that out of the game if I were going to do, I guess, a proper remake of Mass Effect. I probably would cut out like the line that she says about like I can't tell the aliens from the animals. Like that's just that racist. That's racist. I think everything else about her and the way she talks about it is more of a, I mean, it's supposed to be something of a character arc. It could have been, I probably handle it a lot better in general. But in a proper remake, um, to like really make, or even doing it as a TV show, which is more likely at this point to happen in the nearish future compared to a proper remake, since they did this remaster. Does it turn around and do? Okay, we've done the remaster. You pay $60 for it. We're gonna do an all-out remake of Mass Effect. Like, no, it's gonna be a while before we see that. Probably at least a decade. Um, at least a console generation, roughly. Um, but if they're gonna like redo it as a TV show, then one of the things you could really do is make Ashley's arc into more of an arc. which should also be just a benefit of the format. But anyway, in terms of character creation, like, that'd be another tick on sort of the renegade side of Zandra in particular, is that she's racist against Batarians, but you can also, I guess, as a human, have a degree of let's just, I don't know, speciesism is harder to say. Zandra with Batarians, you could potentially be, as a human, you could potentially, I would say, like, if you can narrow it down, I guess, as a human, you probably be most inclined to be racist against either Batarians or Turians. Or just general xenophobia. Would probably be like your free options as a human if we're gonna narrow it down. Because there was the Turian War, and Batarians have attacked human colonies, which is the main thing for Zandra. I would say that Justin is particularly speciesist at all. I mean, he's probably a paragon. I'm not sure. Probably a certain degree that he's gonna be renegade, a little more renegade in Mass Effect 2, but probably not to a. We'll see. Well, he's gonna be probably fairly renegade in terms of how he deals with the elusive man, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So we're gonna try and talk to Ashley and see if there's anything new that's just unlocked. I'm sure it's those stuff that just happened from doing main mission.
Oh, before I go, you said you're serving with Commander Shepard now? We saw him on the news here. He's cute. Later, sis.
Tell me you didn't hear that.
Afraid I did.
Oh, shoot me now.
Okay. Renegade prop.
Sarah, the youngest. What's up? You didn't come by to eavesdrop on family mail.
Your family seems to be important to you.
Yeah, we've always been close. Me and my sisters especially. With Dad on duty so much, I had to help Mom raise them.
Did your father serve with the fleet?
Yeah, took any crap posting he could get that offered space time. You know what? He worked his ass off trying to get recognized, but he never made it above serviceman 3rd class. He was real proud when I made Chief. First thing he did was salute.
What about your mother? You haven't mentioned her.
You must know what military wives are like. Strong because they have to be, able to raise kids while Dad's away on a 6-month cruise. She has a degree in planetary geology. She and Dad both wanted to see new worlds. She gave up her career to raise us, though.
You got a new life, a new civilization.
You have more than one sister? Sounds like a big family.
Yeah, I'm the oldest, then Abby, then Lynn. Sarah's the youngest. She's still in high school. With 4 girls, Dad used to say he felt more outnumbered at home than on maneuvers.
Where did you grow up?
All over. Same as you, I expect. We transferred a half a dozen times before I finished grade school. You go where personnel command sends you, right? I guess that's why I'm so tight with my sisters. We'd have to leave all our friends every 2 or 3 years.
I was an only child, but I get the idea. At least one of my parents was always on duty.
Yeah, military families, eh?
With schedules like that, it's a wonder we ever have kids anymore. Things were tense between Sarah and me for a while. Then we bonded.
Sounds like a story. Feel like sharing?
Sarah got herself a boyfriend who wanted to go faster than she did, Mike. I didn't think he was a bad kid, just pushy. Lynn would send me these worried vid mails, and I'd tell her to relax.
Where were you when this was going on?
I was on active duty. Sarah's graduating high school this year. This was only a couple of years back. They were on Amaterasu. At the time, I was assigned to Chernobog. Same cluster, but a dozen Hellwire away. Close enough to talk regularly, too far to make it back in an emergency. I couldn't afford a fast packet flight.
If he really liked her, he wouldn't be pushy.
Yeah, of course. If he didn't ask at all, I'd wonder if he thought Sarah was ugly. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Mike thought they'd go for a romantic walk in the woods, because he figured it was past time they did the deed. She levered Mike face first into a tree and left. Didn't have a scratch on her. Good thing Mom and Dad had us all learn some kind of self-defense. I took emergency leave and walked Sarah to school for a few days.
Why didn't you tell the police?
She said it wouldn't solve the real problem, and she and Mike would both become household names. It was a small colony. I said it was her call to make, that we should let her do it her way. Mom was pretty pissed about that.
You said all of your sisters learned self-defense?
Lynn did pistol practice, but didn't like it. She's kinda nervous. Sarah took Aikido. Abby decided to learn the sword. She always was a little weird. Likes big skirts and tops you have to tie her into. They do great things to her figure, though.
So, what did you learn?
One of Dad's friends taught me Marine hand-to-hand.
You traveled all the way home to walk your sister to school.
It was only a dozen light years, like a day's cruise. It's not like I was going to Earth or something. My last day out, Mike was waiting for us. Sarah had told her friends, so everyone at school knew what he did. He wasn't happy. I wanted to snap him in half, but Sarah gave me this look, this let me handle it, I need to do this alone look. She kept her cool, God bless her, as he screamed in her face. She just let him vent. Then he tried to punch her. I swear, she just flowed around him. Next thing I knew, he's face down on the sidewalk, and there's blood everywhere.
That's unbelievable. Sarah must be as good as you.
Better. I'm more or less a straight-up puncher. When he swung, she wasn't there anymore, and he fell. She helped him stop the bleeding and had me call an ambulance. She told the paramedics he fell. Before they took him to the hospital, Mike touched Sarah's arm. I thought he was gonna end up on the ground again. But he hung his head, whispered, "I'm sorry," and started crying. And she hugged him. The Williams women are a decisive bunch, Commander. We do things when we're ready. Not before, not after.
Your sister's something else. But you didn't mention your father at all. Was he on deployment?
Dad always wanted to serve in space, but he wanted us to have real ground under our feet. He'd say, space is beautiful, but you can't raise a family there. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I've enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly, both with those that loved me and alone. For always roaming with a hungry heart, much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments.
Bored now.
I never thought I'd hear you reciting poetry.
Just because I can drill you between the eyes at 100 meters doesn't mean I can't like sensitive stuff. Just don't spread it around. Ulysses was my dad's favorite poem. Every time he shipped out, he recorded me reading it. He had a dozen versions when he retired.
Does he still like it?
I sure hope so. I read it to his grave every time I go home. Dad passed on a few years back. He's probably still watching, though. So behave.
You mean from wherever we go after death?
Dead on, Skipper. He's with God now. That's not a problem with you, is it? That I believe in God?
You know that old saw, there's never an atheist in a foxhole? I've been in a lot of foxholes.
Yeah, I guess you have. I've met a few people who are really weirded out by my faith. Because I work in space, I can't believe in a higher power? Jeez. Hello, have you people looked out the window? How can you look at this galaxy and not believe in something? I should get back to my duties. Didn't mean to take up so much of your time.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Not sure I buy Dr. Tassoni's story about her and her mom not talking. They're family, right?
I think she's being straight with us. Or at least, I don't think she lies very often.
Okay, whatever this.
She's probably really bad at it. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. That's impressive.
We'll talk later, Williams.
Looking forward to it, Skipper.
I think these things sort of just progress as we do missions.
Commander, good to see you.
You've been with CSEC a while. Have you seen much action?
Well, not as much as you, but yeah, I've seen some interesting things.
I'll bet you have. Anything in particular that stands out?
I remember this Solarian geneticist I was sent to investigate. That case was a bit disturbing.
What happened? Why were you investigating them?
I was tasked with tracking black market trade on the Citadel. Most of it harmless, nothing I needed to pursue. But during the course of my investigation, I noticed an increase in the trade of body parts, organs mostly. We usually get a few of those, but not the numbers I was seeing. We weren't sure if there was a new black market lab or if some freak was harvesting organs from citizens.
You've seen this before on the Citadel?
Every so often, some lab sells unwanted parts through the black market, but they're not as bad as the psychos. I remember this one Elcor diplomat we caught in my first year on the job. He was hacking people up and selling their organs. Had the station in a bit of a panic. But this case wasn't that clear-cut. Turns out there was more going on than we first realized.
So how did you figure out what was happening?
First, we got a hold of a sample and ran DNA tests. The weird thing was, the match led us to a Turian who was still alive and was very convinced he'd never lost his liver. After a bit of digging, I discovered this Turian worked briefly for Dr. Salion, the geneticist. So I went to his lab hoping to find evidence of cloned organ development, but there was nothing. No Solarian hearts, no Turian livers, not one Krogan testicle.
What did you do about the geneticist?
I brought in some of his employees for interrogation, to see if I could get them to talk. While I was interviewing one of them, I came across something suspicious.
You mean threaten? Was that really necessary?
Maybe, maybe not. Either way, it paid off. One of my detainees started bleeding profusely during the interview. We offered to patch him up, and he got frantic, freaked out. I ordered a full exam to find out what was going on. Our medics found incisions all over his body, some of them fresh. That was our big break. These people weren't just Dr. Salion's employees. They were test tubes. Walking, living test tubes.
He was growing parts inside these people?
Exactly. He cloned their organs right inside their own bodies. Then he harvested them and sold them off. Most of the victims were poor. He'd pay them each a small percentage of the sales, but only if the organs were good. Sometimes an organ wouldn't grow properly, so he'd just leave it in them. Most of them were a mess, but only on the inside, hidden so nobody could see it.
I hope he got what he deserved.
That's the worst part. We never caught him.
Why not? What the hell happened?
He ran, blew his lab, grabbed some of his employees, and headed for the nearest space dock. By the time I found out, his ship was already leaving. He threatened to kill his hostages if we tried to stop him.
But you went after him anyway, right?
I ordered Citadel Defense to shoot him down, but CSEC headquarters countermanded my order. They were worried about the hostages, worried about civilian casualties if the ship was destroyed so close to the Citadel. I told them those hostages were dead anyway. He just used them to make more organs. But they wouldn't listen.
Well, you can't get them all.
No, but letting him get away like that, All they had to do was disable that ship, stop him from running. Maybe the hostages die, maybe they don't, but at least we stopped the bastard responsible for it all.
I suppose I can see both sides. But what's done is done.
I suppose. Can't waste too much time worrying about it now. Just wish I could have stopped him. That's all.
Do you have any idea what happened to Dr. Salion?
I sent out feelers from time to time, hoping to find something. I thought I'd found him a while back. He changed ships and changed his name to Dr. Hart, his idea of a joke, I guess. I told the military, but they weren't convinced it was him. I got the transponder frequency for his new ship, but I just can't get anyone to check it out.
I'll check out the coordinates when I get a chance.
I was hoping you'd say that. But Commander, take me with you when you go. If it's Salion, I want to be there when you find him.
That could be another sort of renegade trait. Anyway, I need to go and get some more water. I had no idea where the bows are actually stored.
Shepard, I'm glad you're here.
Good to see you smiling again, so to speak.
I'm sleeping much better now. I guess I'm getting used to how quiet your ship is. I still think a lot about my pilgrimage, though. I know Starin's our top priority, but with all the worlds we go to, I was hoping to find something to bring back to the flotilla.
We've still got a long way to go. You'll find something to take back.
Yes, but it cannot just be some derelict ship my people can use for salvage. It has to be more than that. There's a lot expected of me.
What's so special about you?
It's my father. He's the senior member of the Admiralty Board. He's one of only 5 people who can overrule the decisions of the Conclave for the good of the migrant fleet. My father is responsible for the lives of 17 million people. Our entire race is in his hands, and I'm his only child.
So are you some kind of heir to the Quarian throne or something?
No, it doesn't work that way. My father's position isn't hereditary. I'll probably never serve on the Admiralty Board myself. Officially, I'm just the same as any other citizen. But it doesn't work that way in practice. People have always treated me differently because of who my father is.
You must get all kinds of special privileges.
I probably had it easier than most growing up, but it's not all good. People like my father have enemies, and they're not above using me to get to him.
It must be tough on you.
My people place a high value on family and ancestry. There's an unspoken expectation that I'll live up to my father's example. Everyone's waiting for me to do something great on my pilgrimage, something that will forever change our lives for the better. If I don't, it's like I failed, and that reflects badly on both me and my father.
The work you're doing here is more important than anything any Quarian has ever done before.
Yes, I know. But you have to understand Quarian culture. We're a very insular society. The events beyond the flotilla don't much matter to the average citizen. Our greatest dream is that one day we'll return to our homeworld and drive out the Geth. But even if we stop Saren, that's not going to happen. There's still millions of Geth behind the veil. Until they're gone, our exile will continue.
What would you need to bring back to make everyone happy?
Something that would help us better understand the Geth. They've changed significantly since the exile. They've continued to evolve. We've done our best to study them, but it's not easy. They're very reclusive. Until recently, they never went beyond the borders of the Veil. And all the Geth we run into now are under Saren's control. We'd need to find Geth operating on their own, independently. But I don't want this to get in the way of our mission, Shepard. First, we stop Saren. Then I'll worry about my own problems.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives are... Like what?
I want to know more. I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
What was your father like?
It wasn't easy growing up as the daughter of one of the Admiralty. Even before he joined the board, he was a prominent figure. People looked to him for leadership. He had to set an example, and he expected the same of his daughter. Plus, he was pretty strict, a military man through and through. He never allowed me to settle for anything less than excellence. As a kid, I sometimes felt like he was pushing me too hard. But now, I'm old enough to appreciate what he taught me. The world doesn't owe us anything. If we want something in life, we have to earn it.
Where was your mother in all this?
Mother was around, but she always seemed to kind of blend into the background. Almost like she was overshadowed by my father. He tends to do that to people. She passed on about 5 years ago. Some airborne virus that swept through the fleet. Happens sometimes when the filters start to break down. I think my father took it pretty hard. After she was gone, he became even more focused on his work. I think that was his way of dealing with the grief.
Sounds like a tough upbringing. You don't resent your father at all?
Like I said, it wasn't easy. My father's not the kind of person you bond with. And he wasn't around all that much. Too busy. People counted on him, and he took his duties seriously. Even when he was around, he always seemed a bit distant. Like his mind was always somewhere else. Come to think of it, I can't ever remember seeing him smile. Not once. It's like he was always weighed down by all that responsibility. I mean, I know he cares about me, but he never really showed it, not in the usual way. I guess the best thing I can say about my father is that I respect him.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
I should go.
I should go.
See you later.
What do you want, Shepard?
Why did you become a mercenary?
Lots of reasons.
Such as?
Such as, I needed to get out of our system. I needed to eat. I needed to survive.
Why not stay and help your people?
I tried to help. That's why I had to leave.
What happened?
I was betrayed. I was head of a small tribe. We were trying to restore order after the war, but the other tribes were against us. They followed Jared, one of the few warlords who survived the war with the Turians. But he was old, and so were his ideas. He wanted to continue the war. He wanted us to fight. Turians, Solarians, each other. It didn't matter who, as long as we were fighting.
What did you want?
I just wanted Jared to shut up, to stop his ranting. I wanted him to stop leading the tribes astray. But he couldn't understand how much things had changed. We didn't have the numbers to go to war. Even if we did, the genophage made sure we couldn't replenish our numbers fast enough. I told them all to forget about war. We needed to focus on breeding, at least for one generation. And for a while, we were getting through. Some of the tribes started coming around.
I take it the warlord didn't appreciate that.
No, he didn't. He arranged a crush with the tribes, a meeting on neutral ground. He wanted to talk. We met at the Hollows, near the graves of our ancestors. The skulls of our dead laid bare to remind us where we come from, and where we all go. It's as sacred as any Krogan place can be. Violence is forbidden.
It sounds like a trap to me. You must have suspected as much.
I did. But when your father invites you to a crush, well, there are some laws that even we hold sacred.
Jared was your father?
He was. Until that day. We talked, but we didn't get anywhere. When it was clear that I wouldn't join him, he gave the signal. His men leapt from the graves of our ancestors like Krogan undead. The few that were loyal to me died quickly. I escaped with my life, but not before I sank my dagger deep into my father's chest. That is why I left, and that's why I'll never go back.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Rex. Shepard. Shepard Rex. Tyrannosaurus. Rex. Shepard. Probably need to get some more water yet again soon.
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
Well, they know about the stonewalling you've had from the Council.
They deserve to know what we're up against.
They're on your side. They're pissed about the resistance we're getting, especially from our side. I'll have a better handle on all of it when my head stops hurting. Another L2 flare-up.
Ever thought about going back under the knife? Maybe get an upgrade?
No thanks, Commander. One slip and you can't remember your own name. The L2s spike higher anyway. My abilities would drop with pain-free L3s. That'd be a cold day before I turn myself over to a Canadic subsidiary.
I haven't heard anything about Canadics in a while.
Yeah, they quietly disappeared. Broke up into a bunch of little corps after they botched the training on Jump Zero. After first contact, Canadics was set up to track Element Zero exposures and develop implants for humans. Once we had an embassy on the Citadel, Canadics could bring in experts instead of taking it slow.
I'm sure Canadics did what they thought was best.
It wasn't best for us. They brought in an ex-military Turian named Commander Vernus. A real hard-ass. He basically had a free pass to break us if it would turn out a decent biotic. Kind of spiraled from there, Commander.
Did he ever face charges for that?
He got his, yeah. But like everything else at Jump Zero, it was under the table. The less said, the better. Anyway, this is ancient stuff. I walked it off a long time ago. I should get back to my duties, Commander. We're here to make history, not rehash it.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Dr. Tassoni. Seems like a sweet girl. Easy on the eyes. I mean, if you like the bookish sort.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
Bonus XP here. One thing I definitely want to do if I could ever somehow be in charge of a proper remake of Mass Effect would be to actually have loyalty missions for everyone. Not sure what it would do, but it would definitely, like, you know, besides just you're fleshing out the characters more. I think for Mass Effect 1 that'll be enough. And I had to go. That's something they really should have done with the remake, actually. That's a big complaint that I had with it initially, was that you pretty much have to, like, write down where all the side quests are, because the map doesn't show you. They should have updated the game for the remaster so that you could actually see where the where the missions are. I'm incredibly surprised they didn't do that. I'm actually disappointed because they should have done that. That would have been a pretty significant quality of life feature, and there's no real reason not to do it beyond the time and resources required. A little sliver of the ceiling there. And, you know, having to, I guess, inject the code into the game to make that workable. I don't know how much would be involved to make it so that you could actually see where quests besides the main quests are on the map. I mean, they have the code to, like, have quest lines crashed on the map already. You'd think they just be able to extend that to side quests. Maybe have a special flag for side quests to, like, make it a different, you know, color. There's a Herschel system in the Kepler Rouge.
Message for you, Commander. Just came in over a secure channel.
Shepard, this is Admiral Kahoku. I found out who set that trap for my men. The ones killed by the Thresher War. Damn, I hope you get this message. It was a group called Cerberus. An Alliance Black Ops organization. Top secret, highest level security clearance. They vanished a few months ago. Dropped right off the grid. Nobody knew where they went or what they were up to. They've gone completely rogue, Shepard. They're conducting illegal genetic experiments, trying to create some kind of super soldier. I don't have any proof, but I found the coordinates for one of their research worlds. I'm uploading them with this message. They're completely out of control. Somebody needs to stop them. I've done my part. Now it's up to you. This is probably the last you'll hear from me. Cerberus is after me now. I need to
That's
disappear.
weird audio mixing. I don't know if they had connections to the Alliance. I mean, maybe that's still canon? I don't know. Prepare to be boarded. It looks like they're already hostile. That is sniper rifle. Why don't I have my sniper rifle out? Whoa! The commency? Are these actual husks or just...
We got them all, Shepard. Husks being used as... like husks with special or different textures or something.
Thank you. Thank you for saving me from those things.
Commander, that's him. That's Dr. Saleon.
What? My name is Hart. Dr. Hart. Please, get me out of here.
Are you sure it's him?
Positive. There's no escape this time, Doctor. I'd harvest your organs first, but we don't have the time.
You're crazy. He's crazy! Please, don't let him do this to me.
Back down. Like, this is probably the Paragon choice, but... finish him! Like, this sounds like the most renegade choice. It's time to die, Doctor. But, like, back down, Gareth? Really? I mean, this is probably where... I wonder how I would define this. Like, this would be similar to, like, moral freedom versus rule of law. I would say we're probably kind of neutral on that subject. Like, that would be, you know, kind of third option in the instance, is just neutrality. Dang, I'm going for these waters really fast. I mean, these are all partially finished waters anyway, so. Okay. Well, I contemplate what to.
This is my kill, Garrus.
You're all crazy!
What? Huh? Really? Like, like this could be the wrong guy, but like we trust Garrus's judgment. Also, this guy is acting like really sus, super sus. Like Garrus isn't acting crazy. Um, like if he was an innocent man, he would not be like, "No, this guy's crazy." Like if I were an innocent man, and this guy is like saying like, "Oh yeah, this is a guy. This is a I'm sure this is a guy." It's like, what guy? Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not instantly leaps to the conclusion this guy is out for blood. Yeah, I would not, immediately jump to the conclusion that we're talking about. I would have no idea what they're talking about, basically. Because we're not talking about any. We are talking about like this is the guy who harbors the people's, our organs, and we want to bring justice to. Like, we don't mention anything about that in our conversation between us. And he's like trying to do like, oh, this guy's crazy. What? Like, how do you know he wants to kill you? Like, unless I mean, the only other thing I suppose you could conclusion you could draw here is that this guy is actually innocent, and that Garrus has been going after him before, and so this guy knows who Garrus is, and is just scared shitless over him. But that's not the impression we're getting. And again, we trust Garrus at this point. So yeah, I think we did the "it's time to die" thing. I think that's the decision we went to. Although it's like this is my kill, which is a bit of Tor effect there. Well, yeah, it's literally Tor effect because it is like time to die, doctor, and then Garrus shoots him. Anyway.
What was that, Shepard?
Huh?
Never hesitate when you've got the enemy in your sights, Garrus. Point
What?
taken.
Well, I guess we're done here.
Hey, give me renegade points. Not enough to make the bar move. I don't know. I don't know if I feel like reloading the save just for that. Just for the tour effect. I hate this minigame. Damn it, what the hell? What the hell was that? What the hell was that? No! Well, I had to reload for frickin' that. That was bullshit. Is that shotgun? Maybe a shotgun, I don't know. That's a sniper. I don't know what the hell I have. This is a assault rifle? Okay. Just probably, oh yeah, that's the that all clear.
Thank you. Thank you for saving me from those things.
Commander, that's him. That's Dr. Saleon.
What? My name is Hart. Dr. Hart. Please, get me out of here.
Are you sure it's him?
Positive. There's no escape this time, Doctor. I'd harvest your organs first, but we don't have the time.
You're crazy. He's crazy! Please, don't let him do this to me.
Put him out of his misery so we can get going.
Gladly. Your days of butchering are over, Doctor.
No! Please! Please!
That was satisfying.
Good. Remember that feeling. That's how it should be.
What?
I will, Commander. Well, I guess we're done here.
And you give us renegade points. Huh. Average. Did we get enough frickin'... Okay, we have... We're gonna just max out decryption so that... that's it's electronics, I think is what we... Respec. Damn it. F9. There we go. Is it decryption? Okay, so description skill. So I guess we were right. And I trust that I'm not an idiot. It's still freaking harder. I could have sworn like I read somewhere like this is like easier if you have. They needed to have. I mean, they need to have the ability to just use console-based decryption minigame. Like anything is better than friggin' this. Oh my god, hard decryption. What is that going to freaking look like? Oh, come on. There we go. But yeah, I feel like kind of close to how the conversation should have been a little bit. Like I say that both of my shepherds have a very strong sense of justice, I guess, which I think would probably be a neutral trait, really, in general. Like when it comes to the scum of the universe or the galaxy, I guess is on the scale. Like we don't have any qualms. What's the Gemini Sigma? If she like turns out to be just as bad as these guys, then she could be lying to us, and these aren't actually drug dealers or slave traders. They don't come at us with, like, you know, when we come at them with a freaking tank, then, you know. I mean, why would innocent civilians attack a tank on sight? Oh, good lord. I think this is just... Oh, that's interesting. We get another shot? I guess this gives it its infinite chances. And maybe that's a benefit, having maxed out our talent skills. I don't know. I should probably be calling it a night after this particular mission. I'll go after the other one. he actually on top of the mountain? Yeah, this is. Wait, this is Alliance. But why are Alliance heavy turrets? But clearly Alliance.
Got it.
Hmm. That is. Come on, so I can use biotics on you. What the hell? Oh. What did I use counters for? Dang it. I think I lost Carnage. Why is Carnage recharging? I didn't even use it.
Shepard.
Is that where it came from? There we go. Hmm.
I'm here if you need me.
Okay. 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 So, my program was locked again because lack of activity. I think if I even have just one supporter, it will keep the Patreon active. I'll also mean I can have some interactivity with someone. Um, anyway, you can vote for things if you wallet for Patreon. When we're doing it, we'll go to a game of your choice. Well, not a game of your choice, a game from the list, which is on the Patreon. And I'm sure we're gonna restore the whole show in the current list because it's gonna change eventually, at least for like VOD purposes. So anyway, I'll restore the wall patrons when I actually have patrons. Until then, I will just plug it here. The Minecraft Dome you can check out. It's part of the reason why I've not been streaming it recently, is because I've been playing a lot of Minecraft, building a lot of stuff you can check out on our official Pixels Plays realm. So anyway, there's a bunch of things you can do. Take a few seconds of your time. So thanks for watching. Until next time, sayonara.